Hi everyone. So I'm just back out here to check on my a new piece of land that I've acquired. So as with all new landowners, what's the next thing that you do? You put up some property. So I'm thinking of putting up something here in the corner, and I'm gonna put up a hotel, a bee hotel. Yeah, so not the big property that you imagined, I suppose. But yeah, so look how pretty this yellow bee hotel is. It's so adorable. Now, I just need to, you know, get something to make it stand on because I need to elevate it. And, you know, I'm hoping that the solitary bees will make use of it. So if I put it up there in the corner, just stand at the edge of that fence. So I'm hoping that the native solitary bees can make use of the house. Yeah, so I've been reading up on it, and so first I need to get something to fix it so it's nice and secure there. And I've got this old tree. Well, it's actually a shrub that dried up years ago, and like 10 years ago, I think. And I just kept it because I loved the way all these branches intertwined. And, it was so structural. So I used to keep it around, put lights on it. And I had it in a pot, not in soil, but with rocks around it. And then it falls down and stuff like that. So you can see there's no roots. And so if I use this, I need to secure it properly because there's nothing to support it standing up. So I just need to find a way to make it stand so that if I put the bee hotel on it, it doesn't fall off. Right, so I don't know anything about beekeeping, and this is not really beekeeping. This is it's a bee hotel for guests that just come to stay temporarily. There's a gap here. Okay, maybe fill some more. So anyway, I saw this channel on YouTube. It's called 17 Meter Square Garden, and this girl, she just gardens on her terrace, and she had a bee hotel on her balcony, and solitary bees came and made a home there and stayed. And when I saw that, I thought, oh, that would be so good to have. And now that I've done my garden, this is like the perfect spot. I actually bought this a few weeks back, and I was just gonna put it somewhere, but now I think I've got the perfect spot for it, and I'm going to put it there at the back of the garden. Anyway, what was I saying? Right. So Australia has a lot of native solitary bees. So these bees don't live in colonies, and yeah, so this sort of thing, this bee hotel is perfect for them because they can just come and make use of this hotel and go off when they are done. And I've been reading up quite a bit about it since I decided to put this up. And these, I don't know if you know, Australian bees are so tiny. They're much smaller than the honeybees. Um, so there might be some solitary honeybees as well, so they can use it too. But these tiny ones are perfect for the Australian stingless native bees. So I'm going to try and see if I can fit any smaller bamboo sticks in between here. Anyway, yeah, also, so these solitary bees, there's this, the native one, the Australian one, and then there are leaf cutter bees that are solitary, and then leaf cutter, and there's some other minor bees or something there, bees that actually burrow into the soil. So I've pulled out some of the clay from the yard. Look how terrible it is. So maybe I can put it to some use. I'm going to soften it and put it into this cans, and I'll stuff it nice and tight in there and then make holes. So hopefully those bees that burrow in the soil, they can also use that because they are also solitary bees. So I'm going to put this up, and I'll use these two containers. I'll fill them up with the soil. Let me soak it up and soften it because it's like a rock, clay is like that. It's so hard. So I'll soften that up and put it in there, and I might need to tie it up separately. But yeah, I need to make some of the holes a bit smaller. So I'll get to that. But let me just soften the soil so long. If I put too much water, I can just let it dry out a bit. I wonder how much I need to put. Just put everything. Let's see how that goes. How long, I don't know, it's going to take to soften up because that's really hard, like a rock. While that mud is soaking there, I came to look at this other piece of wood that I have. This branch fell off a tree and I've had it in the garden. This looks like it can also work. So let me just take it, go check how it looks in the back. So it needs to be about 1 meter to 1.5 meter above the ground. So this should be okay. Oh my goodness. Go back. Right. Yeah, and it mustn't be in full sun or it'll cook the hotel. Right, so let's try the other one out. I need to take these lights out of this. This branches from the shrub. It was actually from an Australian native plant, some Melaleuca something, but it was so pretty. And look at how those branches intertwine. That's what I liked about it, and that's why I kept it. I didn't want to throw it away. So that spot is okay. I mean, they need light, and the houses need to be at least a meter to 1.5, yeah, so 1 to 1.5 meter above the ground, and those are sufficient, I think. So even if I had to bury them in to the ground, that should still be okay, to get that height where I can mount the bee hotel. But I really like it in this corner, facing inwards or facing towards the garden. But I first need to secure it, and you can see there's nothing here. I need to dig a hole, and I don't want to dig because, anyway, I just don't want to dig, and I don't want to put any concrete in the ground because then I can't move anything, and I can't plant around it. So I'll first see how much I need to put into the ground because it needs to be secure. I don't want that hotel falling off because what kind of a hotelier would I be if my guests fell out of their house? So anyway, I have to make sure that it's really secure, and I need to set it in the right spot because if I do concrete it, then it needs to be in the right spot. I don't want to have to then dig it up again. So yeah, we after brainstorming, I got an idea there to put them into pots, and I would, I can put the concrete inside the pots, so that way the roots, or well, not the roots, the stems, they won't rot, because if I just bury them in the ground, and if they get moisture, they definitely gonna rot. And then if I bury them in the ground with the concrete, then I can't move them around. But with them being in this pot with concrete, that will secure them and give them some weight, and they won't fall. And then I can bury the pot in the ground, and the moisture won't get to these dry stems. So that would be the perfect solution. Then I can move it even if I need to move it, if I need to change the position. And as I said, it can't be too hot, so this spot seems like it's a good spot to stay there. It's going to get the north facing sun, and north and northeast, and that should be sufficient. So the houses, the bee hotel or the rooms for the bees should get sufficient light, because it needs to get sunlight, as these bees need to warm up in the morning. So I need to get the concrete in there and then set them into the spot that I need them to go, and only then I can secure the hotel to the to this branches. So I don't know which one I'll use. And you see, the sun has gone from here now, and there's just so little sunlight. So we managed to put the concrete overnight and let it dry. So we just poured it now. You can see it's still wet, and I'm going to leave it overnight, and then tomorrow, once it's set properly, it's actually a quick set. So it just sets like in 5 minutes, but I'm just leaving it overnight so it gets nice and sturdy in there. And I put some plastic at the bottom, so this the mix doesn't flow out through the drainage holes in the pot. So let that set, and then I can dig a hole and bury it in the spot it needs to go. Let's check this mud, this clay rather. It's still hard. Some parts have gotten soft. Might have to leave it overnight. Okay, let's leave it and see, because these two pieces are solid. Maybe there's a rock here. Oh no, it's just clay. Okay, that's it. All right, I found this old trellis. It's a bamboo trellis, and so it's got a hole there. So I'm gonna cut it up and try and fill up the holes to get smaller sticks in there. And let's see the size. It's so tight. Maybe I put it in here, right? I don't want to get cut easily. Right, let's cut up. Yeah, see, it's got a small hole, and I think that hole will be just a good enough size. Oh, I got no muscle. Let's try again. Oh, it went flying all the way. Let's do this off camera. Right, I've cut up a few. I sprayed my finger. You can see it's black. I sprayed the cans that I want to put the mud or the clay into, and I sprayed my finger. Anyway, so now I've got a black thumbnail. I don't know how to get rid of that. Yeah, so let's look at this. So I've got 5. I'm going to shove it in there. It's supposed to be about 10 centimeters long. I think that is sufficient to go in here. And this house has got that lip over, so it will protect it from the rain. I'll just put it in there to I put in a piece of straw to test it out. Oh, that's a bit big. Maybe I'll put it up here. I don't know. Oh, that looks okay. Yeah, so I'll just fill in the bigger holes. Right, so it stayed there overnight and it's managed to soften up. And now I can just put it into the pots and see how it sits. So I need to stuff it right in properly, so it's properly there's no gaps in there, and it's a solid tin full of the clay. And if they burrow, they can, they've got that full length of the tin. It was pretty messy. Everyone was laughing at all the mud. I'm playing with all the mud here. But yeah, so I just put some holes with this stick, and I'll leave some holes shallow. So, those bees that want to work hard and dig their own hole, they can burrow in there properly. So I'll just leave some halfway, and I'll do a few all the way in for those that are not feeling too hardworking. So, yeah, and then let it dry. I suppose it'll dry outside. Once I put it there, it should dry up. Once I hang it up by that tree. And yeah, and then hopefully it's ready for them. Yeah, all done. Right, as much as I liked this bench there, but it was taking up prime real estate and it had to go. Yeah, all that space I could be planting. I'll have to think about what else I can put there. Yeah, now for positioning this tree stump or these branches. So yeah, as I said, I was going to just dig a little bit of a hole and bury it so it's more secure. And need to get it in good lighting so it gets enough light, but it doesn't cook, because they want the light, but they don't want it to be burning them. But anyway, now the sun is so weak because we are going into autumn, so I just cut up these branches from the pomegranate tree that were blocking it, and just free up that space, or just open it up a bit more, because there's so little sun that comes there. It's like, I think maybe from 11 till about 2:30, and then it's gone. And that's on the days that there is sunshine. And the other days, or it's May now, and we still got a few days of little bit of sunshine, but there will be like hardly anything once we get into winter. Maybe an hour or two here and there. So I'm just hoping to give this spot as much light as possible. So if the sun comes out, because these are native bees don't, I don't know if they hibernate, but or I don't know if other bees hibernate, but they still come out. If it's 18 degrees Celsius, they will come out to forage. So I'm hoping that we have some of those days in winter, which is highly unlikely. But hopefully now, this last month of autumn, we've got some time still for them to, come and stay. And yeah, so I was happy with that. It's not the corner spot that I wanted, but this is actually quite good here. And it's in the light. When the light comes out, it will be getting that light. So I just need to secure the bee hotel to the spot, and make sure that it doesn't sway and fall. So yeah, and I keep calling it a hotel, but it's not actually a hotel. It's more sort of a nursery. After reading up about it, I found out that these native solitary bees, they actually lay their eggs in these houses and then they go away. So they use it as a nursery for the babies to grow in. So they, all along the tube, they lay an egg, fill it up with pollen, seal that room off, and then they do that about 5 times all through that whole long tube in the reeds or whatever they use. And that's what they do, and that's what these things are used for. So it's not a holiday resort. Now that the hotel is up and running, open for business, I need to get food to entice these bees. So ran off and bought some plants. But I looked for native plants because these native bees obviously are more adapted to feeding off native plants. I mean, they would take nectar from other flowers that are around, but I just thought I might as well plant some native stuff there. And these ones, and I found that there's quite a few plants that are flowering over autumn and winter, which is good. And I just got those bacopas, those flowers. And how cute is this? It's a melaleuca. I love that little sort of beading on the leaves. It was so cute. And it's also a native plant, so I took that. And it's supposed to get tiny white flowers. And these native bees also are really tiny. I don't know if I mentioned that before. They are much smaller than the honeybees. And so they go for these tiny little flowers that don't even, draw much attention. And I got this isopogon, which is so beautiful. I don't know if this plant will grow like that here and get all the flowers it needs, or as that picture, because this spot is not going to get as much sun and it needs a lot of sun. And that's the daisy. Yeah, just to put them in the ground. This was a few days earlier when I rushed off and just bought some plants to fill the space after I did up the garden. And it turned out that I did manage to get some native flowers. I had just gone to get any flower actually, and I was so undecided because I don't know much about flowers. I don't plant much flowers, and I don't know if you know me. I usually cut off all the flowers from my succulents or anything else because I just feel they're wasting too much energy, and if there's flowers coming, I just cut them off and throw them away. But now I'm going to keep them because these bees even go to the succulent flowers. So, well, as I said, this is good that I got these little daisies because the bees do like them. And even though I didn't know before I did my research, I ran off and bought these daisy plants. They were actually still okay for the native solitary bees. And then second round, after reading up about these bees, I went again to the nursery to look for native plants and shrubs. And yeah, I don't know, I'll have to just position them right, hope they grow. And yeah, so and also that pomegranate and that olive has got roots in this area, so it's just a bit of a tricky spot. And flowers will be okay because they don't have such deep roots. But also another good thing about the native plants is they can thrive on neglect, which I like. I don't pamper any of my plants, and that's why I don't keep a lot of flowers. But the native ones are supposed to be hardy, so that's why I don't mind them. Yeah, so this one gets a little purple flowers, and it's already got those flowers coming up. What was it now? I can't remember. I must see the tag, what it says. Oh, it's a Eremophila raised blue, and bees like purple and blue things. So I got that. I hope that gets nice and lush with flowers. And this lovely gorgeous shrub here, I need to keep all these ones in check because I can't let them grow too big. That also is going to get the tiny little flowers that they like. And as I said, this one here I bought, what was this, Isopogon, was this the Isopogon? And it gets tiny little white flowers all along the stem, and native bees like that as well. And this daisy, it's daisies are good. All bees love daisies. They got that flat surface which they love. And then Bacopa, I bought it in white and in purple. And I thought, if it can just attract them. And their flowers are small as well. Just need to water these things because, I don't water plants all the time. But if I'm keeping a hotel, I need to feed my guests. And, there I hung up that little mud house for them. I can't wait to see. But now I don't know if they are, flying around. My garden didn't have much food. So they wouldn't have been roaming around my space. But actually, in saying that, my neighbor has got thousands of flowers. And those bees used to feast in her garden and come to my garden for water. And I used to keep water all over. And they used to be drinking waters all through the summer. So I'm hoping they'll come and pass the message. Yeah, I didn't plant this one. I need to put it in a good spot because I think that needs just a bit more light. And so that's where we stand. I'm going to get more flowers and hopefully, ones that bloom over autumn and winter. So there is some kind of nectar if a bee does come there and it can build its house and, stash up those bedrooms. And I can just try. I don't know if it'll happen this year because it does take time for them to know that there is a house around. And, I was going to show you this little basil. It's a holy basil or Thai basil. We use it a lot in it's a traditional thing. We pray with it and stuff too. But I planted it in the garden all over because the bees do like it. And so I don't know if I can put it there in the center. That needs a bit. It can get very big, I should say. So I propagate and plant them all over the yard, and I have one in the side of the house as well that I keep for one resident honeybee that comes there every winter and just goes at that little shrub which looks like it's got nothing going, but that bee still seems to find some pollen. And I grow it on the side of the house where no one goes. And I know it comes in with no disturbances. So, lots of rambling on here. So let's enjoy this beautiful little hotel. And I will do a follow-up on this. If I get to plant more, I will show you more pictures with more flowers. Just I haven't got a chance to go back after that initial purchase to get them. And you know what, and then I found out that this dandelions and things like that, and even clover, bees love them. So I've got dandelion in the yard, and I'm gonna pull that dandelion and plant them in this garden. And if in summer or in spring I'm gonna put clover here as well, because I like clover. They're so pretty, and apparently they are so full of nectar, and even the native bees love them. So I'm gonna fill this spot with that. They're not weeds, they're just a plant that someone's termed it as a weed. Yeah, so I'm gonna do that, and I've got dandelions all along the side. For this whole winter, I am not going to be pulling any dandelions out. I'm going to leave them there, let them grow and thrive and flower. And if there's any bees that comes along, they can, enjoy the nectar and pollen from those dandelions. If I can pull one out properly without damaging the root, then I will plant it in the spot as well. And I'm gonna, actually I was thinking of doing this. I'm going to give it lots of fertilizer to see how big a dandelion can grow and how lush it can look. So keep watching. Oh my god, I was so lucky to capture this. Lucky I had my phone, but you can see the footage is so bad. There was a bee, a native bee that came to the flower. Look how tiny it is. That will give you an idea of the scale, this of this native bees. They look like ants or flying ants, but they are so tiny. Those are the native bees. That's why those those holes in those bamboo sticks needs to be so thin. And yes, so I know there's someone around, so I hope he tells his friends. I just need to get more flowers for them. And I managed to get some footage of my hardworking bee that comes to this plant only every year. So every year I get a new plant, fresh flowers. I propagate a new one for him or her. And look how busy. And it's only one bee. It's just the one bee that comes to this plant every year over the winter. And so that's so cute. Right, some good dandelion growing here. I'm gonna pull it out and plant it in the garden bed, and let's check how it grows. Look how big this one is. See the taproot. Two. So let's put it in there. I did say I was going to plant that dandelion, so there's the prime spot for that large one. Yeah, I'm going to give it a gold star treatment for both these dandelions, and you can see one's got prime location there right at the front. I'm hoping it captures the sun and thrives. And yeah, I can see how it goes. And it's going to bloom. These weeds, oh, I shouldn't say weeds, these plants, they are so hardy. And I mean, if you want to thrive in every crevice between rocks and whatever, you deserve a prime spot and some good care, because all the other plants get so pampered and they grow, but this grows with no pampering. So yeah, I'm going to pamper it and see how it does. And oh, I wonder if snails eat it. Anyway, I must check that and keep an eye and protect them. So if they raise their lovely yellow dandelion heads in winter, at least there'll be so much food for the birds. Birds, for the bees. And these are the dandelions that's growing all along the side, the side of the house that's just next to the shed. See, in between the pavers and stuff, they are looking so healthy, and I'm going to leave them. I'm not going to pull them out. They're going to thrive here for the whole of winter, and it's all on this side. So, if any bees come, they can, hopefully it's not too far, they can find those dandelions, and they've got lots of nectar, so they can at least have some food over the winter. Yeah, this is like the worst time. Yeah, I wish it was spring again. Anyway, because it's autumn now and we're going into winter, there's like hardly anything. I can't even plant anything. Even if I buy stuff, there's no flowers now, and I need things that flower. So that's why I look for the native things. These native bees like those native plants, and a lot of the native plants are flowering in winter. So hopefully they come out in the dead of winter with some nice blooms, these tiny shrubs. And I don't know if that bacopa will flower, but the succulents are also flowering. So hopefully they find food all over in the garden. That's the way it looks, and I hope to put more here. I'll see how it go, but I'm no gardener. So I'll leave it there, and I want to wish everyone a happy Mother's Day. Everyone who cares for everything from plant babies, fur babies, human babies, scaly babies, everyone that's caring. Have a lovely weekend, and I'll catch you next week. Bye.